What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hospitality Next. I'm Sal Capizzi, SVP of Growth and Marketing at Tribe. Today, I am joined by the one and only Jeff Bzdawka, CEO of Hapi. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sal. It's so great to see you again. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
We're super happy to have you on, Jeff. Jeff is a recognized leader in hospitality technology with more than 30 years of experience in driving innovation and industry transformation. As CEO of Hapi, he helps organizations strategically leverage technology to deliver meaningful business outcomes. Jeff has also held senior leadership roles, including Chief Executive Officer of Noland, Senior Vice President at Hyatt Hotels, and Chief Operating Officer of TravelClick, where he led high-performing teams, scaled operations, and delivered market-leading solutions. Jeff, Happy is fundamentally about interoperability, bringing systems together across the hotel tech stack. What do you find is the biggest reason hotel operators still struggle with true real-time support, and what can be done at an architectural level to fix it?
It's a great question, Sal. And if I could take just maybe a step back, candidly, this is why Louis Segredo, who is the founder and chief strategy officer now at Happy, started Happy just over 8 years ago. And it's one of the reasons why just over a year ago, I made the decision to join Happy. My true passion lies at the intersection of hospitality and technology and where it comes together. I consider myself a hotelier first and foremost. And technology is there not for just the sake of technology, but technology should be used to enable change and scale caring service. Now, Sal, I'm sure you follow all of the things in the industry, all of the articles, and it can be a bit overwhelming. And I recently used AI to review a series of kind of year-end reflections and the pundits projecting 26, and focused on hospitality tech. And there were three common themes that really get to, the heart of your question that came up across the blogs, white papers, and posts. The common themes or foundational challenge is really related to system integration and breaking down connectivity barriers and addressing the flow of data. And I think as we talk today, Sal, that'll be a common theme, flow of data, creating a flow of information. Now, as everyone knows, the average hotel has well over 10 different systems, some over 20 systems at property level that need to be stitched together in one way, shape, or fashion to be able to deliver upon and execute against experiences. How those come together, how the systems come together, has been and continues to remain a challenge for many hoteliers either at the enterprise level, ownership level, or even at property level itself. Oftentimes, either hoteliers, hotel companies, and or hospitality tech providers, the application developers attempt to do it on their own and create a series of point-to-point solutions rather than creating a single data stream, a single connectivity layer. And that is really the root of the issue and the question you raised, Sal. So it leads to broken connections, lost data, and disruption in service.
Absolutely. And do you think I want to follow up on that question a bit.
Yep.
Do you think that's because hotels and resorts are using many different best in breed solutions, or do you think that it's being broken down in technology ecosystems?
Yeah, that's another great question, and I really, as I in my one of my prior, in my
Roles.
past, if you would, my prior roles, it was really deconstructing and putting things back together and creating a best of breed model.
Yeah.
And having that best of breed still you need those connectivity points. And the ecosystem that we find ourselves in has a tendency of being a bit dated and dated architecture, dated infrastructure. And that's not saying it's bad, But we need to find a way to ensure that technology that's deployed is first understood, it's working properly, and you're getting the intended value. And then it comes to how you bring the solutions together. And that's where we focus at Happy. Oftentimes, the initial conversation, people refer to Happy as a middleware layer. And we do so much more, but oftentimes what lies under the cover is in that connectivity layer and those data streams, or the plumbing, if you would, is not necessarily fully understood and what needs to be in place to enable those series of experiences. So we come to, and oftentimes we put solutions out, they may work well the first day, the first week, and then things go bump in the night. So having a solid foundation, an interconnectivity layer is key, starting with that connectivity. And once you have the connectivity in place, creating an ecosystem or an environment where data can be easily transported and transformed. And again, trying not to do a series of individual point-to-point solutions, but providing a single layer of data for data streaming. And what that does, building upon that centralized data stream, we, along with our customers, whether a hotelier or a hospitality tech provider, are able to take advantage with what I like to refer to as adopt and build once, but utilize everywhere and wherever possible,
Oh,
and maximizing the value there. Then you can do normalization of data. Cloud native architecture. All too often, people will try to go out and do something new and proprietary, where a community model, and especially in the case of architecture, having a cloud native solution or provider or a partner in place is critical. And at Happy, we have chosen to partner with AWS in this instance to get that cloud native architecture. And then by working with providers that specialize, and back to your best in breed,
mhm.
select best in breed and take advantage and embrace them as partners. In the case of working with a provider like us, as we grow, as we continue to add more connectors, more integration points, that increases our libraries and the value we can bring to the industry. And then also, as we, and a little bit later on, we'll talk about what you can enable and the experiences you can enable on top of that data stream. As we build more and using this plug and play framework, as we build and layer on different use cases, different agents on top of that finder, the benefit of working in a community type of model is you get the benefit of the growth of the partner that you're working with. Now, back to, and I'll take a breath here in a moment, centralized data streams. We can have discussions. Once you have that centralized data stream, then you can change the discussion away from technology and plumbing to more what experiences can be brought to life. We help our customers identify and drive ancillary revenue. I think if you look at where Tribe plays, you play in ancillary revenue generation as well. And you can do that once you get to know your guests better. And in order to get to know your guests better, you need access to that data stream, and then also opportunities to take work out of the system. So single data stream, continuity, build once, use repeatedly. We're able to then enable literally dozens upon dozens of use cases to assist both colleagues at hotels as well as enhance guest experiences.
1,000,000%, Jeff, you knocked that out of the park. Yes, it's all about, the guest experience now for, luxury hotel travel ratings and things like that.
Yes.
Knowing your guests before they even arrive on site is really the true meaning of luxury now, anticipating guests, needs and requirements and all of, those things. And with a software like Hapi in place that can drive all of the technology together, you wanna create an exceptional experience for people, not only, during the basic booking process, but once they arrive on site at your hotel or resort. And you hit the nail on the head. Ancillary revenue is a huge word throughout the industry for, the past few years. It's gotten really big. Everything that Tribe does in the spa, wellness, and leisure and activity management sector. But, beyond that too, I mean, F&B, just everything that goes into creating that guest experience is now being realized that it needs to stream seamlessly, and the guests should not know about how many systems, if you're using a bunch of best in breed or you're using one single technology ecosystem. The guests should not know at any point that those systems are talking to each other. It should all just flow. Um, we know that
Exactly.
we know that data is really the new oil in, the industry. Everybody's talking about data, analytics, statistics, things like that, but not all data is really created equal. How do you guide customers on data governance, quality, and trust, especially when systems don't necessarily speak the same language?
I'd like to say it's easy, but it's not. And this is an area with the explosion of technology, and you talk best of breed, more pinpoint solutions come into play, which mean oftentimes different islands of data
Yeah.
itself. And Sal, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, our conversations always start not about the technology that's in place, but really understanding. And some of the most productive conversations start with what is the expected outcome,
Yeah.
and really understanding, design with the end in mind. What are the customers attempting to gain? What experiences do we want to bring to life? Um, all too often, hospitality tech providers will come to hotels, general managers, and it's like the technology is a hammer in search of a nail. And really taking the time to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish and identify those use cases. And once there's that partnership and those discussions, then you can look at and take a step back is how does that data come together? What source solutions, what systems are in place? And then are there gaps in data? And then having conversations about how to fill that data. I think, the holy grail, and Sal, you had mentioned the discussion about data. Another key theme is creating true personalization, recognizing that Jeff and Sal are two very different people. Or Sal might have two different personas based on traveling on business or leisure.
Sal is a Gemini. Sal absolutely has two different personas depending on what hotel we arrive at.
Yeah. So, in looking at this, well, really looking at trying to bring the systems, the data together into a place and a condition that that data can then be mined for actionable insights, to be able to do guest-based marketing, to be able to do attribute-based sales beyond the guest room itself, and trying to offer something to the guest that is relevant, that they'll buy and they'll enjoy, and you'll be able to deliver on at property level. And one of the former CEOs at a hotel company I worked at, I loved the saying, I can serve you, but in order for me to really care for you, in order for us to really care for you, we need to know you. And in order to know you, we need data. And that data is what they're inferred, learned, and finding ways to stitch that data together. Now, if we come to and we look at Happy itself, we were created with a simple use case in mind. Our founder, Lewis, was also the founder of a company called MTech, and MTech brought Hot Sauce, a service optimization tool, to life. And Lewis saw that firsthand, the value of the integrations and the flow of data, and where the things would go bump in the night at the hotel level to be able to execute and deliver was not having timely access to the right data to care for the guest. And then as Lewis was an entrepreneur and building a business, what held him back is an MTEP back to be able to accelerate the product even more rapidly was again these integrations and the complexity of the ecosystem we have in place. So from there, Happy was born. It started out by just giving a common view of data across disparate PMS solutions. But then, as more and more technology came in place, we started building out our integration library so hotels could use best of breed solutions, and there would be a solution in place for that integration layer to again bring that all together to get actionable insights. So a lot going on there. But the other thing it's not just getting to know the guest. Once hotels and hotel enterprises, and for that matter, even the technology providers that are plugging into the ecosystem, have that common centralized data flow, that data stream, there are many things that can be enabled. And I talked about use cases before that we help enable postfolio retrievals and to be able to automate that, taking work away from the hotel directly to do that, enabling things like mobile key and a digital wallet. There are like anywhere from 4 to 6 different systems that have to come together to make that happen. In-stay surveys with triggered service recovery opportunities should something not be right. Sal, you checked in at a hotel and something was missing from your guest room. You get that survey. Best time to take care of a guest and salvage a guest experiences while the guest is still there. Having
Absolutely.
access to that timely data enables those types of experiences. Simple searching and posting capabilities, bringing to life personalization through Wi-Fi experiences as well
Yeah.
as television experiences. The list goes on, but it all comes back to, and even if you look at everybody is clamoring about AI, but from enabling simple use cases to really enabling the AI backbone, fundamental. You have to have the connectivity in place, and you need to be able to create an environment where that data can be streamed. Once you're there, the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely, Jeff, you hit that nail on the head. This is why you're on the show today. Jeff knows what he's talking about, like the very long tenure in SaaS, hospitality,
I
technology,
was going
all
to
of
say it's
the
that 30 years. It makes me look
all
old.
of the That's why we went with tenure. No, Jeff, great stuff. You touched on AI a little bit, and in a world where AI is becoming more integrated, how can standardized data layers and interoperability architectures actually accelerate AI use cases, and what pitfalls should hoteliers avoid?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record. System integration, creating that data stream. If you look at AI, and I think Sal earlier, you referred to something as the oil. And in
Yeah.
the case of AI, data is the feed, it's the fuel that AI needs to be able to get access to the proper data so you don't have hallucinating AI agents that are out there. And it really comes back to the realization that AI cannot really deliver the intended value and those highly anticipated outcomes unless the systems are properly integrated
Yeah.
and that the data is actually flowing. That is core, that is foundational, that is fundamental. And another word of advice is all too often the focus is on getting it in place. But once it's in place, I apologize. I thought I turned that off before the phone. But in looking at it, it was probably my AI agent calling to that I forgot to say something. But
Making a recommendation on everything that you're talking
yeah,
about.
exactly, which you should have said, Bzdawka. But no, it comes back to without system integration, without proper data, you really can't get that true value of the solution set. And again, it takes more than just getting it in place. It's ensuring that the data is accurate, the data is current, the integration points are working. So I really stress at hotel level, management level, enterprise level on the hotelier side is to pick your partners carefully
Yeah.
and to ensure that what they are bringing to you makes sense in the overall ecosystem and that you have access to the data. There is so much data exhaust that is out there, but the industry hasn't necessarily yet found the proper way to take full advantage of that data exhaust, which again is food and fuel to AI.
Absolutely. Jeff, looking toward 2027, what is one tech platform or pattern shift that you believe will redefine how hotels build their tech ecosystems, and how should brands prepare now to be ahead of that curve?
It really comes back to if I look at where we are in the world with technology and then bringing it into the hospitality tech space specifically, I view this as a seminal moment. And this is probably far greater than when toll-free numbers popped up in the 1980s or the GDSs came to light and then the internet for being able to distribute first with an online brochure, then online bookings. I think we find ourselves here at a seminal moment. And it probably, as you said, looking toward 27, while the pace of change is rapid right now, I really think it's going to be not until 27 that we'll start seeing a lot of. We're still learning about AI. We're still learning the things it can do. We're still learning about how to bring data into these LLMs. But I'm really excited about the opportunities AI can bring. But really, this year and into next year, there's some core foundational fundamentals that need to be brought into place. So, with those underpinnings, then we can start seeing the real value from AI in that marketing, in the booking process. I believe the whole booking process, the way people shop, the way people book, the way packages come together is going to be turned on its ear. And, ever since I've been working in hospitality, the Holy Grail has been in search of personalization.
Yep.
And we've attempted as an industry to do what I'll call more faux personalization. I'm really excited that where we're at and with the evolving technology, this is really an opportunity to create those true personal connections using technology. And so, who knows what 27 is going to bring, but I really believe it's going to be more about how we book, how we sell, how we market our products, and then ultimately how we care for and service the guests when they come to the property. AI enablement, but you need connectivity. You need that, you said best in class solutions. You have best in class or deconstructed tech ecosystem. Then how do you stitch it together? How do you get that common data stream and then maximize and optimize that data flow itself?
You get
Exciting
happy.
times.
I'm sorry, I had to. You get happy.
Yep.
Jeff, I want to move on to our Fast Five. For you, boutique hotel or luxury resort?
Hands down luxury resort.
Very nice. What hotel tech could you never live without?
Oh, well, I'm going to go the easy answer on this one. It has to do with reliable Wi-Fi.
Yes. Room service at midnight. What are you ordering?
I'm probably an oddball. I'm going to say scrambled eggs.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Early breakfast, late late
Yeah.
breakfast. Good for you.
I'm
Dream
usually an
Hotel
early riser, so if I get up a few extra hours early, scrambled
and
eggs.
yes, and order the eggs. Jeff, dream hotel destination for 2026.
I've been promising my wife and the family a trip to the Amalfi Coast, so somewhere on the Amalfi Coast.
Good for you guys. I can't wait to see the pictures of that. One word to describe the future of hospitality.
Uh, Evolving. Had a hard
Love.
time coming up with that word, but it's evolving.
Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Sal. I really enjoyed it and looking forward to some exciting things to come in hospitality.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining this episode of Hospitality Next. You can get in contact with Jeff and learn more about Hapi at www.stayhappy.com. And you can get in contact with me at sal@try.be. Remember, stay bold, stay booked, and for this episode, stay happy.
Stay happy. All right. Take care all.
Until next time, see you guys.